All right, welcome everybody to the Health Transformation webinar. This is Cade Archibald, and really excited to have you guys on today. We got an awesome topic we're going to be diving into on some really cool things for the holidays, so that you guys can continue to have an amazing, healthy holiday. I'm not a fan of using the word maintain, because I think everything should always be progress. But as far as weight goes during the holidays, I think even maintaining and not gaining is a win. So we're going to be jumping into that. Along with me, we got the amazing, just awesome guy, Regan Archibald, founder of East West Health and Go Wellness. And he's all right, I guess. He's my brother. That's actually what makes him so cool. So Reagan, how's it going?
It's going really well, and I apologize. We've had our internet dude out like 5 times, and so just give me the thumbs up or thumbs down, Cade, and no distractions today for you because you'll have to take over when I glitch out.
All right. Well, hopefully Reagan does not stroke out today. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. So what we're going to jump into is some of the struggles that we see in the United States alone. During the holidays, the average weight gain is 5 pounds. Now, there's some things on the internet that's like, you gain 10 pounds. And I think those are people who are exaggerating. But in general, 5 pounds is the average that a person will put on during the holidays. And so for those of you who just finished Thanksgiving, you're probably 2 pounds there, right? To that 5 pounds.
Yeah. I would say 2 to 4. And then Christmas, you might eat a little less.
Yeah. I mean, whatever your pattern is, but my goal is to give you some insight so that this you don't become a statistic. Because, we've looked at some novel ways of, weight loss. And one of the very first things that I've written about in my book, Your Health Transformation, is this concept called a liver detox. And so for those of you who are afraid to go into the holidays and you're craving sweets already. I just had a friend text me last night, and she's like, "Oh, I'm craving sweets. What could I do in place of it?" And then we said, "Well, there's many different options that my wife gave her, as far as like using collagen proteins, the chocolate collagen proteins, and using 100% cacao chocolate chips, and making something that's more like keto friendly as far as desserts go." Man, it's so easy. There's so many recipes out there, but that's one of the things. The other thing is jump into page 97 in your health transformation. And I have a whole process where I lay out exactly how to clean your liver, because your liver is involved in all the metabolic functions in your body. Your liver it creates the enzymes that you need to break down foods. Your liver helps regulate your blood sugar, which is one of the key components of keeping the weight off. The other thing that the liver does is it metabolizes hormones. And so if you think about where you may be putting on weight, if you tend to put weight on your hips or your belly, these are good indicators that your liver is not functioning properly. If you're putting weight on everywhere, like the arms, the chin, the legs, that's more thyroid issues. And usually even with thyroid, you can trace it back to a poor conversion of T4 to T3 in your liver. So the liver enhancement diet, Cade, you've done it many times. Maybe you could share with our listeners, some of the things that are on the liver enhancement diet.
Yeah, liver enhancement diet is really good. I'm actually going to see if I can pull it up so you guys can actually look at it. But this is a really good way to kind of give your liver a break. So you do animal protein fast for it's 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks, depending on how your body's reacting to it. Sometimes, especially if you have any tendencies towards low iron or anemia, then it makes it a little more difficult. But yeah, you mix the lemon juice with cranberry and apple cider vinegar. I love, even if I'm not doing the full enhancement diet, I love doing that in the morning, especially if I feel like, you know, I didn't treat my liver kindly days previous. And so that really helps with just liver recovery. And then lots of good leafy greens. Yeah, so it just feels really nice.
Yeah, so get your cruciferous vegetables. That's the key thing. Get rid of animal proteins. Add in, you know, nuts, maybe some eggs, things like that to your diet. But you know, liver enhancement's one thing you can do, but the other is consider peptides, because you know we've been talking about peptides a lot, and these are sequences that actually can help open up the metabolic process. And you don't need to find that, Cade. I don't want. We've done other webinars on it, so I don't want to go deep into it. I just want to use it as a reference.
Cool.
And so some of the peptides, there's several we're going to talk about today, but one that we want to talk about is called AOD 9604. Now, AOD stands for anti-obesity drug. And what the researchers did is they tried to find the metabolic pathway that was the most blocked in patients who had obesity or diabetic tendencies. Diabesity is the term, and there's actually a journal called Diabesity. And so that would be something you guys may want to look up, is just look up the term diabesity. But what they found is the 9604, it turned on that metabolic pathway. So you actually started converting the white fat into brown fat, and then the brown fat is more metabolically active. And so what makes white fat white, and why it's so difficult to metabolize, because that white fat tends to collect around our organs. And so what you see as your belly starts growing is you don't just have fat on the outside. You know, I've had, times where I've just wanted to shave off an inch on my belly so you could see all the muscles. But underneath it, there's also fat. It's called visceral fat that grows around the organ systems, and it can put a lot of stress on the organs. And so one of the chief components of 9604 is it actually opens up that pathway so that the white fat that gets around the organs, because remember, our body wants to protect the organs, and fat is just a symptom. It's when you put your body under stress, your body can't store the energy that it thinks it needs to use as a fuel source, and so it stores it as fat. And it goes and gets stored around the organ systems first. But 9604 actually allows your body to start burning that visceral fat or the organ fat, and using that as an energy source. And then eventually it will start burning that abdominal fat. So if you've got a little extra weight that you want to take off, there's some very positive things that can happen, because I know a lot of you who are on this, this video today, or who will hear the podcast in the future, you've had issues with, like knees or joints. And for every pound that you take off up top, you take off an additional 4 pounds on the bottom and on your knees. And so that's pretty substantial. So what researchers have done is they've said, well, maybe there's a way we could combine 9604 with hyaluronic acid. And hyaluronic acid is one of those, that lubricating factor in your discs. You know that your discs are like jelly-filled donuts. And so it's like that hyaluronic acid is what fill up the jelly-filled donuts. It also is the lubrication in your knees, in all your joints. That's what fills the bursa. And so the researchers asked, well, is there a way we could simultaneously help somebody lose weight while at the same time increasing stem cell proliferation? And so what they did is they combined the 9604 with the hyaluronic acid. And what they found is there's strong efficacy in treatment of osteoarthritis. And that was what they were studying it for. And what they found is the combination not only did allow people to lose about 20 or 30 pounds, and actually the very first patients that we used it on in our clinic, they lost on average 5 pounds without changing anything. So we know this works. I actually tried it myself personally, and I haven't weighed myself, so I can't give you any objective data that way, but I noticed that it improved my strength. It also improved my appetite. So when I got hungry, doing my intermittent or time-restricted eating, I didn't get as hungry. And so it was just like, it was less of a discomfort to me. So the AOD 9604 also regulates that ghrelin and leptin response. But what they found as far as the stem cells go in osteoarthritis is it caused more differentiation of these stem cells. It promoted more proteoglycan and collagen production in chondrocytes. So that means the chondrocytes are the cartilage cells, and the cartilage cells had a lot more health to them. And then it also it promoted the differentiation of mycoblasts. And mycoblasts are the muscle cells. And so that's what's going, the mycoblasts also create tendons, they can create ligaments, but primarily the muscles. And they differentiated these into the C2, C12 cells, all of which are essential for bone, cartilage, and muscle repair. And so this is, this combination is pretty massive. And there's been research, this research that I'm referencing, was published in the Journal of Korean Medical Science in 2010. But it's a very safe. That's the other thing about this is, Cade, when you see something so powerful as like the AOD 9604, you think of side effects. What are some of the concerns that you would have on, as far as side effects go? Anything that helps you lose weight? What are some of the common side effects?
Yeah, usually it's you're using hormones or something, and so your body's ability to produce those hormones after you get off that medication is impacted. HCG has been a big one.
Yep.
And then just other hormone treatments, and so it's like, do I have to be on this for life?
Right.
Like phentermine, it's got heart problems because it speeds up your heart rate, which that's going to speed up your metabolism. So,
right.
Those are some of my questions. Is like, would this be safe?
Yeah, and that's Cade brings up a good point. Like the AOD 9604 was actually tested directly against the HGH, which a lot of us get put on, and what they found is that the HGH over time, it does put a burden on the thyroid gland and the adrenals, but the corticosteroids that your adrenals make when you get on that, they can get out of control, and then your body can actually start retaining more fluid and more fat. Whereas with the AOD 9604, they found there is virtually no side effects from it, and it was much safer than using some of the other hormone therapies that are out there for weight loss. If you look at it like combining it with phentermine or something that creates a lot of kind of a metabolic activity or thermogenesis, which means you're creating new heat sources in the body. The AOD 9604 also outperformed those because there's not the risks of cardiovascular disease, not the risk of stroke. And so AOD 9604 is something that is very safe, very effective if those metabolic pathways are blocked. And so that's one of the key components you want to look at, is you want to say, okay, well, where is your weight? Because if you actually are looking to put on muscle mass, that's one of the confusing parts of AOD, because if you're already fit, we've done it with a couple of patients who really didn't need to lose muscle or needed to lose weight. And what we found is they actually put on muscle more efficiently. And so I think that's because your body has this ability to uptake energy from a variety of sources. And so, don't be, if you get on the AOD 9604 and you find like, oh, Regan, I thought I would just lose all this weight and I didn't, and if you have a body fat that's like 15 to 20% and you're looking at this to lose weight, is probably not your best peptide. And we'll talk about some other peptides that are better for you. But for those of you who have especially above 20% body fat, or if you've got, that, 30, 40 pounds you want to lose, this is your key, because what you'll find is that it will actually change the shape of your body. And sometimes, you may lose that initial 5 pounds, and then over the course of a couple more months, you'll start seeing your whole shape changes. And you'll start noticing you'll put on muscle mass in areas that are very effective for you, because, just putting on 15 pounds of muscle, we found that can be one of the key factors in reversing diabetes. And so the AOD 9604 is a critical component of that.
Had a question come in on how many people did the test include. Do you have that data?
with the HGH. I apologize, everybody. I was in a meeting, and so I was going to pull up that study for you, but I'm happy to share it with you guys next week.
Perfect.
And you can also email us. You can email me, Regan, at AccuEastWest, and I'm happy to share a link with you. Okay, so peptides, using these, one of the things I look at in medicine is I say, man, what are some really safe ways that we can express, and optimize health with patients? And this is one of those that's going to be key. The other one is a peptide called IGF-1. Now, for those of you, like I said, if you've got, maybe you've got an extra 10 or 15 pounds you'd like to get off, the IGF-1 is a critical peptide for you, because what it does is the IGF-1, it works on the insulin-like growth factor. And insulin-like growth factor, it works directly with your pituitary and hypothalamus so that you get more growth hormones secreted naturally. It's not going to put more hormones in your body. That's the beautiful thing about peptides, is all they're doing is opening up pathways versus putting a hormone in and shutting down your endocrine system. They are actually influencing your body in a natural way. So using the IGF-1 is a peptide that will help you build more muscle mass. And IGF-1, if you look at this peptide, it's one of the most powerful peptides because it does actually help your muscles create more IGF-1. We think that our liver is the big producer of IGF-1, which it is, but IGF-1, we have 500 times more receptor sites for IGF-1 in our bodies than we do for insulin. And so, Cade, if we have 500 times more receptor sites for IGF-1, we don't talk about it that much. We can test your IGF-1. We can see if you're low in it or too high. But what do you think that means if we have 500 times more receptor sites?
Probably more, just as or more important than regular old insulin.
Right. And you've been experimenting with IGF-1, and how's that felt?
It feels really good. Like I enjoy the way it makes me feel. Just like it almost feel like if I didn't work out that morning, or if it was like I didn't have a hard workout, it kind of gives you that feeling the first like I'd say hour and a half after you do it. It's a subcutaneous injection.
Yep.
It feels like you had a really good workout that day.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, not like you're sore, but like you have that endorphin feel.
Yeah, you got some activity going, and so the AOD 9604 and the IGF-1, these are both injectables. When I did the IGF-1, the biggest thing I felt like I was a teenager again. I recovered quicker. I had a little more spring in my step. My coordination and balance was on point. That's when I was in St. George, and you taught me how to wakeboard or wake ski surf. That's a fun sport. Really amazing. But yeah, IGF-1, for those of you who are looking to optimize your muscle mass, optimize your athletic abilities, or even if you're just looking to sleep better and feel stronger, and influence some growth hormone, because growth hormone is your youth hormone. And if you've recently had stem cells, your stem cells love growth hormone. And stem cells, when we've done the IV with stem cells or exosomes, that will also influence the stem cell growth. And I just have to thank all of you for coming out. We had a cool Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal on our regenerative medicine, where a lot of you came in. Like Monday, we were just flooded with all of you in the office. And I was really happy that you guys said, look, I'm going to take advantage of this offer that East West has given me, and I'm going to come get exosomes or stem cells, and I'm going to invest in my health, because what we're trying to do is create a future for you that's much healthier with some very safe but innovative medicine. So I just want to thank you guys deeply, and hope you had a great Thanksgiving. The final peptide that I want to talk about today, and something that you want to consider for the holidays. And if you just look at peptides, you look at your life, just as the seasons change, we're all going through massive transformations. Peptides are something that, you want to do seasonally. It's not like we would not stick Cade on IGF-1 indefinitely. Like that would not be good for him. You don't
Dang
want,
it.
yeah, sorry, bro. Maybe 2-3 times a year would be maximum. Same with AOD 9604. It's not something you want to stay on long term. I mean, some of the peptides like cerebrolysin or the nootropic peptides, very safe, but we want your body to just get influenced in new ways. And so one of the ways that is the easiest for our patients, and our patients love it because it's oral, is a peptide. It's called 5-amino-1-MQ. And this 5-amino is a great way. Not only does it help with weight loss, but it also helps with building muscle mass. And the 5-amino-1-MQ is where, when I heard Ryan Smith of TaylorMade Compounding, is one of the founders of TaylorMade, and he's a brilliant PhD in biochemistry. And what he talked about was the 5-amino-1-MQ allowed him to gain 7 inches on his vert in like a week. And so I did the 5-amino-1-MQ, and I went through the whole course and finished that about a week ago. And, I definitely have noticed that, in my life, a beautiful thing happened about, 5-6 years ago. I started doing stem cell therapy, and that really helped me feel more vital, more youthful. But now when I'm coupling the stem cells or the exosomes with the peptides, I'm just seeing that I'm getting a lot more robustness in my recovery. My workouts are better. I'm feeling stronger. And that's what I noticed on the 5-amino-1-MQ. And I didn't have to do an injection in my body. So these are some little hacks that I've already went through in my own personal life. And like I tell everyone, I'll go first. Ask your psychiatrist to take the medication they're prescribing. I doubt they will. But we'll take these peptides, stem cell treatments, and we've seen phenomenal results with it. So for your holiday, I want you not to maintain, like Cade said, we want you to transform your life, transform your health. And so biggest thing you can start doing is saying, okay, what goals do I have? How does 2020 look for me? Because we're not only starting a new year, we're starting a new decade. And so I think the 2020s can be the best decade of your life if you create the goal around it. And if you look at reality, you look at the reality of where you are versus where you want to be. Hopefully you'll always have bigger and higher goals when it comes to your health. And so I look at peptides as a way of helping you get to your goals just a little bit quicker with a little less struggle. And so that's all we're trying to do with introducing these. The AOD 9604, if you could actually open up a metabolic pathway that got rid of that visceral fat that sticks around the organs, I mean, not only is that going to help you prevent a host of diseases in the future, it will calm down inflammation, but it's also something that if you've had stem cells, we can put a little of the hyaluronic acid in this, and it's going to just expand what the stem cells are already doing. Or if you're somebody who you want to just put on more muscle mass, you want your athleticism to improve, you want to be really active over the holidays, which is a great way. I love being very active in the holidays so that I can indulge, because I'm not a fan of, like, don't go to a party and just be the person that's just like, oh, I can't eat anything. I'd rather just go there and I'd rather party when I'm partying, but then I got to exercise even more to make up for it. And so the IGF-1, that's your key. If you're looking for, just overall, you want to lose weight, but you also want to build muscle and stay active, well, then that's where your 5-amino-1-MQ is. And so it won't help you build muscle quite as much as the IGF-1 would alone, and it won't help you lose weight as quickly as the like the AOD 9604 would, but it will help in both of those aspects, just help edge you along. So if go ahead.
Yeah, had a couple questions come in. Any issue with taking those together, the 5-amino-MQ with IGF-1?
Not at all. Nope. Totally different pathways.
Great. And then there was another question on do peptides work without stem cell injections? And yes, you don't have to get stem cell injections to use peptides. It's just a great enhancer.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, I hope that you guys have really enjoyed this. I'm going to give you a little challenge right now. Give us a call if any of these peptides look interesting to you. and get on our schedule. I want you to lose 5 pounds over the holidays if you have weight to lose. But I want you to do it in a way where you can still enjoy your holidays. You can still have fun and indulge here and there. But I want to get you more active. I want to get you burning fat so that you are the best version of yourself in 2020, because we've all got a big, old, wide open future in 2020. It's the next decade of our lives. And that future, it hinges on your health. There's nothing else that predicts your future more than your health. So let's get this going. Just email me at Regan@AccuEastWest, or contact one of the offices, and we'll make sure we get some peptides out as soon as possible. So
Awesome.
All right. Any last questions before we close out, Cade?
No, that's everything. Thank you guys for joining us today. We'll be back same time, same place next week. So you guys have an amazing week. I posted our Salt Lake and St. George numbers. We can also do virtual visits for this. So, if you're reaching us from somewhere else in the country and not near Utah, that's fine. We can still help you. But love you guys. Have an amazing week.
And one final thing, I know our webinars are just gaining huge in popularity. And so we actually created a link on the website that is a webinar link. And so all you need to do is, if you have friends or family who you think, man, it would be cool if they just got a little shot of inspiration on our Wellness Wednesday, all you need to do is send them AccuEastWest.com, and on the upper tab, it's webinar registration, and they can get registered there. So really appreciate you getting that done, Cade.
Yeah. Forward the links to loved ones, anyone that you think we could help out, because we love doing these.
Welcome Brazil and England, and we had Taiwan on today. So we had all over the map. So love you guys.
We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.